We are now joined by Notre Dame basketball commit, St. Joe men's basketball standout, the 26th ranked forward in the nation, and very good friend, J.R. Konieczny. J.R., how you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Thanks for asking.
All right, so J.R., before we start, would you like to apologize to me and Matt for beating us by like 40 in 8th grade?
Hey, my fault, guys.
Just so you guys know, he has been that good for that long.
It was one of the craziest games I've ever been a part of. So we were talking before how you just came from practice. How are you guys preparing to play with limited to possibly no fans this season?
Yeah, it's definitely been like the huge talk of like everything that's been going on so far. I forget, did they like limit it to like 200, I think, or something like that?
It's something.
Yeah, so I mean, it'll definitely be interesting because last year we got to play with like some like really really packed stands, and that was like super super exciting. So. Yeah, it'll just be kind of interesting to see what happens this year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of places with packed crowds and everything, how cool is it to be able to play on the same court as people like Coach K and Roy Williams next year at Notre Dame?
Yeah, that's that's one of like the main reasons why I decided to stay in the hometown and like go to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Just to get to play against like some like the best coaches and like the best like programs in the country. So yeah, I'm really really excited for that too.
Yeah. So sorry, Matt.
You're good.
So obviously you committed somewhat earlier. We'll get into this a little bit more about your Notre Dame decision. You committed a little bit earlier than most people do in August of 2019, your junior year. What were some of the factors about Notre Dame, like other than you just said playing some of the great competition and things like that? But was it the hometown feel? What was it?
Yeah, for sure. I guess like being in the hometown is just kind of like a coincidence, like being right in the backyard and that kind of stuff. But like the main reason for me was just like the coaching staff and like all the players. That's like who I'm going to be around for the next, like 4 years or however long I'm going to be there for. So like the coaching staff was like number one. And then it's one of like the best academic schools in the country.
Yep.
So like if you can get like you can like graduate from Notre Dame, that's big time. Like after basketball and that kind of stuff. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So who is your what's your favorite or not favorite? Like who are you looking forward to playing the most in the ACC?
Oh gosh, probably Duke. I actually grew up. Grew up as like a Duke fan my whole life. So
oh man, that's a tough look.
Yeah, that
is. Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, I'm really excited to just get out there and just play some of the best like players and the best programs for sure.
Absolutely. So we kind of just talked a little bit about you committing early, and you just signed your letter of intent not too long ago. Does it feel any different now, or just still same old?
Yeah, it kind of just feels like same old. Yeah, I guess like just because I've been committed for so long, it just kind of just feels like the same old. But it was good to finally like get it like confirmed and get it like finalized and all that stuff. So
yeah.
that was relieving for sure.
And since you have been committed for so long, I know like the whole duration of last season, you were getting chirped everywhere you went. Like, did that really like? Because you walk into the gym and you're the Notre Dame kid. Everyone wants to kind of get into your head, and obviously,
right.
Like, did that affect any last season? Like, did you come out with an extra chip on your shoulder because you were the one getting taunted?
Not really. I guess like whenever I'm playing, I just kind of like keep to myself, and I just kind of like stay mellow to myself and that kind of stuff. But I actually like played all last year with like a hurt ankle. I had to get it like taped and that kind of stuff before every single game. So that was kind of like a block in my way, I guess, for last season for sure. But I guess like fan wise, I never really like let fans like get in my head like that. So yeah.
Yeah. So I was actually. He said chirping. Like I will readily admit, like I was probably the number one, one of the number one chirpers in the student section last year. Just to clarify, like you're a great player, but like it's my duty to kind of chirp you. So don't think that's gonna line up now that you're in front of the program. You're still gonna get chirped a little bit. But it's all in fun. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So then, speaking of those,
I know that for sure.
No, go ahead, man. So speaking of those ankle problems, is that all finally healed up?
Yeah, so after like last season like finally ended and all that, I guess like the coronavirus, like the quarantine, all that kind of stuff kind of like played in my favor because everything started to shut down, and that kind of gave me, I had to like stay off of it for like 2 weeks after like the season finally ended just to like let it heal completely and all that stuff. But yeah, right now I'm like as healthy as I can be. So yeah, that's a good thing for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, you mentioned quarantine. Like, what did your quarantine workout look like?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you guys have probably heard of like the barn before.
Yeah.
My teammate Cole Hakovich, he has like that little private gym. So I was able to like go down there like every single day and get some like shots up and lift and all that good stuff. So I was definitely like blessed and like fortunate to have that while everyone else was quarantined. So that was big time for sure.
Yeah, so talking about the barn and being able to lift in there, so we have a question we ask every guest that comes in, man. How much are you benching?
Oh gosh. I've never I haven't max bench press since like freshman year weight class, but
oh wow.
I try to do like 3 sets of like 10 of like 135. That's what I try to stay around.
Hey man, you know what, for a hooper, that's not bad.
That isn't bad at all.
Yeah, I gotta work on my chest somehow.
Absolutely.
So I just had a really quick question. So last year, obviously, you're very familiar with the sectional game against Marion. You had a career game, 42 points. You torched us both beyond the arc and in the paint. Like pregame, did you know that was just going to be one of those games? Like, was everything feeling good for you? Was everything clicking, or you just like did everything just kind of fall into place in the game?
Yeah, so I guess like sectionals, you have like the little special feeling, you know, like before like every single like playoff game, kind of, because it's like do or die. Like if you lose, you go home. So I guess I was just like super locked in. I was really focused. Yeah, I had like a really, really good warm up. I was like sweating coming into the locker room after warm up. So, you know, I really couldn't tell you that I was really gonna do that sectional night, but I don't know. Everything just started to fall in place. My shot felt good, so yeah, it turned out pretty well for me.
Yeah, that was an incredible performance. I was in the stands and I was like, everything you put up seemed to fall. I was like, there's no answer to stop this guy.
Yeah, it was one of those nights. One of those nights for sure. So speaking, I know you said earlier in the interview that you like to keep your head down and stuff, but one of the first pictures that comes up when you search J.R. Konieczny is you flexing on us at Gymtown, man. How do you sure you keep your head down?
Man, I get, you know, you get caught up in the moment sometimes for sure.
You know what? It happens.
Yeah, man, it does. So speaking of flexing on people, like obviously you're very tall. Like you're 6'7". A lot of guys who are 6'7", they just can dunk and they can block people just because of their height. But dude, your vertical is like insane, dude. Like in 2 instances I can think of is I was watching your highlight tape from last year and you had a poster against Washington off an inbound pass. Do you remember that play?
Yeah.
And you
I remember that.
one guy?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. And then the other one, we're not going to talk about that one. And sectional, we're gonna.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I honestly don't remember what score that was against. Good question though. So, oh man, where do we go from here? So obviously JR is not your real name. How do you get that?
Yeah, so my real name's Douglas for anybody who like didn't know that. My dad's Douglas Senior, so I'm a junior. And then I guess like JR just kind of stands for junior. So that's kind of where that comes from.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone call you Douglas a day in my life. It's either like JR or Dougie, never Douglas.
Yeah, I was looking up highlight tapes and I saw JR quote Douglas. I was like, who is Douglas?
Yep.
So are you actually, speaking of like, we were talking about you being 6'7", and I saw an article that said like you were looking to put on some weight and that you weren't done growing. Are you actually not done growing?
I haven't been. Actually, like the crazy thing is when I was at the doctor's last, so I want to say like a year ago, I probably went to the doctor's and I was like 6'6.5" with like without shoes on. And then I went back because I had to get tested for corona over the summer, and I was actually like 6'7" without shoes on. So I actually grew like a half inch, which is actually which is pretty crazy. so
you're 6'8".
That's
basically
so you're 6'8".
Let's bump those listings up.
I mean. Oh, yeah, we can bump them up. Yeah, give me 6'8". That'd be nice.
Speaking of listings, I mentioned in the introduction, you're the 26th ranked forward in the nation, like via ESPN. Like, how cool is that? Like, to see your name in the top 100, top 50 in the country. Like, how sick is that?
You know, it's definitely like a really cool feeling. I don't really like check into like the rankings that much just because like, I know there's like someone, I know there's like someone like else out there that's like putting in like the same work as me, and there's going to be someone that's going to compete and try to get like the same spot as like where I'm at and stuff. So I try not to get too caught up in the rankings, but it's definitely nice to see like the hard work like paying off and that kind of stuff, and being able to like get those like rankings, I guess, is like nice at the end of the day. But I know there's definitely people out there that are going to try to take my spot, and then they're going to keep working hard too. So I just got to stay on my grind for sure.
For
Absolutely.
sure, yeah.
So we said like you're the number 26 or 27 or whatever forward, but you kind of exemplify like the positionless basketball that's become so prevalent recently. And obviously Mike D'Antoni was a big guy with that in Houston, and now that he's in Brooklyn, have you gotten like any packages from the Nets with like an anonymous sender trying to get you to come to Brooklyn?
Man, I'm not that caliber yet, but I mean, if I got a Nets package, I would definitely accept that right away. But yeah, the Nets is going to be fun to watch next year.
Yeah,
that's going to be interesting.
Harden looking for a trade and stuff.
Yeah,
Should be
that's
good.
Gonna be interesting. So speaking of the Nets,
yeah, that'll be interesting.
Sorry, but speaking of the Nets, obviously Kevin Durant on the Nets. Who do you model your game after? Because looking at your tape, like obviously, like the first thing that comes to my mind is Kevin Durant based off your size.
Yeah,
and, like,
let's X out
ability.
Kevin Durant. That's the easy answer. Let's make him.
Yeah,
work for
let's anyone but Kevin Durant. Who would you model your game after?
I guess like another like answer I would say would be like Kobe Bryant. He was like my idol like growing up, you know, like Kobe and like LeBron, like Michael Jordan, obviously those like three guys that like everyone tries to like model their game after. But I guess like I said earlier, I was like a big Duke fan, and I really liked Brandon Ingram when he was
yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
When he was coming up through high school and that kind of stuff. He can kind of do some of the things I can do. I can kind of see myself kind of in his like shoes and that kind of stuff. So I guess I've kind of modeled after Brandon Ingram too. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So do you find yourself watching like Brandon Ingram highlight tapes before a game? You're like, I'm going to implement that in my game today? Or is it just like, I'm going to be J.R. Konieczny and be the best J.R. there is?
I wouldn't say it's like before a game, but I definitely watched like tape of like some of those guys like outside of it for sure. I just try to go out there. I just try to do like the best I can do for sure. But I definitely watch some of their tapes after that kind of stuff too. So yeah.
Yeah, because we were with Mitchell Menting, who plays DN last week, and he was talking about how he compares himself to T.J. Watt, and he said he watches like T.J. Watt videos before every game to get himself hyped up, which is like I can totally see that. Like if you were watching Brandon Ingram and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea actually. That'd be
getting your bag before a game.
Definitely.
So,
yeah, no doubt.
A little bit, take it back a little bit. So I saw on I think it was ND Insider that Bray and his staff have been looking at you since you were 13. Like, have you noticed that there have been Notre Dame scouts since you were 13?
Honestly, I really haven't. I guess like the first time that like Coach Bray like kind of reached out to me was like after like the Marion game, like my sophomore year. He came to like check out like Jay and Ivy when we played them during like the Holy War and that kind of stuff. Then actually he like talked to me like the very first day, like the live period was like available my sophomore year too. So that was, I was super, super excited when that happened. But yeah, I never really paid attention to that stuff in like 8th grade, I guess. So, I guess like when I got to like high school is like when I really like kind of saw myself being able to like possibly like go to college for this. And like, if I took it seriously, I could go far. So yeah.
So if Bray's been looking at you since you were 13. I know we had some crazy battles back in 8th grade. And obviously sophomore year, I was still playing basketball for Marion. So like Bray has indirectly been looking at me since I was like 13 too.
I was going to say the same thing. You're telling
me. That's a
I'm
fact.
on my offer, man. That's crazy.
So he was probably there when you dropped 40 on us in 8th grade.
Man, I hope not. Maybe that's where my offer is.
Probably.
If I would have played some defense that game. But yeah, so one last question for you, and then we got one from the producer. So what's your favorite pregame artist or song or both? Like what really gets you in your zone?
Oh gosh, that's a tough one because I'm our team DJ. So I gotta be like supplying like the tunes and all that stuff before our games. I don't really know, honestly. I guess Meek Mill's a good one. Yeah, that's a solid answer to go with, I guess. Absolutely. Meek Mill or like Lil Baby or someone like that.
You have a go-to song?
So yeah, that's probably. Ooh, I don't know.
Could be right now. Could be the end of last
season. I don't really know.
What were you playing in the locker room?
Oh gosh. Trying to think. We played a lot. I played a lot of Meek Mill's like his album right when it came out.
Okay.
I forget what it was. I forget what it was called, but I used to bump that like before every single game.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So we got one more question from you from our producer Eric over there. He's off camera. He just got one little. He's pretty short, so he just wants to ask you something.
Yeah. So as someone who is 5'6" and a half. I just want to ask, like, since obviously you're 6'7", and I probably have like a vertical jump of like
6'8",
2
Eric.
inches.
He's 6'8".
Yeah, of course, 6'8". How cool is it to dunk?
Man, it's a really nice feeling. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know how to describe it. I don't know. It's just like you're up in the air and you can just like, I guess like when you start. Yeah, I don't really know. It's just a really good feeling, really.
Do you remember the euphoria of like the first time you ever dunked?
Yes, I was over. It was over the 8th grade summer going into my freshman year. I was playing. I had like a travel tournament, and I just went up in warm-ups because we were playing a team in Alabama actually, and this whole team was dunking. So like I was like, man, I'm gonna try to show these guys up and see if I can. And then I went up, and I was actually able to dunk one. So that's the first time I did it. I didn't do it again until I was like freshman year, like during like the basketball season. But I guess the adrenaline helped me out when I was in 8th grade. So.
For sure. So one last question. So are we going to see any style from you this year? We're thinking like a windmill 360 on a fast break or something. Are we going to see any of that from you?
Oh yes. I've actually been practicing a lot of different dunks. I've been trying to expand my dunk package a little bit, so we might be able to see some flair if I get a fast break this year for sure.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, you and me both. As long as it's not against Marion.
I'll try not to. Against Marion.
All right, well, JR, thank you for your time, man. It's been awesome. I'm sure you got a super busy schedule, so I appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your day to talk to us, and wish you a good this season.
Yeah, we appreciate your time there.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it, y'all.
Absolutely.
Of course. Hey, Eric, stop the recording real quick. Hey, JR, now that we're off tape, can you confirm that Blake is coming to ND this year? Is he going to be joining you at ND?
Yeah, so you can tell us that Blake's coming.
I can't confirm because he really hasn't told me, but I'm like 99% sure that it's Notre Dame. I'm crossing my fingers. I hope I don't jinx it, but I'm really hoping.
Okay,
I'm really hoping.
We didn't stop recording.
We'll cut that.
We'll cut that.
But seriously, thank you, JR. It means a lot, man. Good luck this season.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
Thanks
thanks,
for having me, guys.
For sure.
Take care.